I'm Antman.
What's up everybody, my name is Migs and welcome to the Far Side. So we got an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania teaser trailer released in Comic-Con. This footage is filled to the brim with Easter eggs. We get to finally see a version of Kang, possibly Kang the Conqueror, played by Jonathan Majors, M.O.D.O.K, and we also get to see Bill Murray, who might be playing a version of Krylar in the comics. Obviously, this movie has major connections to Avengers Kang Dynasty, but there's a lot of other cool stuff as well. Information overload right now, but let's break it all down. Let's go. So we're getting Ant-Man 3 Quantumania right after Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Black Panther being the culmination of Phase 4, Ant-Man 3 will be released in February next year and will be the first movie of Phase 5, ending with the Thunderbolts movie. Fantastic Four will start us off with Phase 6 and everything will eventually lead to Avengers Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. Kang is the new Thanos level threat and we'll get to explore this multiversal being and all his variants through Phase 5 and 6. We already saw a variant of him called He Who Remains by the end of Loki Season 1. That version of him was the self-imposed guardian of the sacred timeline via the TVA, which explains why there were no traces of him during the Infinity Saga. Basically everything that happened, even Thanos getting a hold of the Infinity Stones and erasing half of all life, was supposed to happen because it prevents versions of Kang from dominating the multiverse. The TVA was created to ensure this and prune any variants, but here we are. He Who Remains is dead and the timeline is in total disarray. Ant-Man 3 is where we get a real look at one of these variants, possibly Kang the Conqueror, based on his suit and this promotional poster showing him with his mask. With the start of the trailer, we see Scott Lang enjoying a bit of success post the events of Avengers Endgame. He started a podcast titled Big Me, Little Me, as seen in Ms. Marvel. Also looks like he wrote a book. There's a scene of him inside a store doing a book read. The title of the book reads, "Look out for the little guy," obviously pandering his role in saving the world from Thanos, and by the looks of it, he gains international recognition. Then we hear Kang the Conqueror's voiceover. He says, "You are an interesting man, Scott Lang. You've lost a lot of time, but time isn't what you think. It's not a straight line." Kang, known as the Master of Time, has the ability to perceive and travel through any timeline in the multiverse. While he's doing the voiceover, they flash through a bunch of different scenes. Scott Lang enjoying his celebrity status. We see him and Hope Van Dyne attend some sort of red carpet event. The reference of him losing time was when he was stuck in the quantum realm for 5 years. He was sucked in by the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, then re-emerged by Avengers Endgame, specifically losing time that could have been spent with his daughter. When he emerged, Cassie had become a teenager. Speaking of Cassie Lang, they recast the character and hired Catherine Newton as Scott's teenage daughter. But hiring a bigger name for this role foreshadows a plot twist in the movie. I'll talk about that more in the theory section of the video. In the promotional poster they released, we see her in a purple costume. This is possibly a version of the comic book character Stinger. Of course, all of the tech she's using comes courtesy of Hank Pym, so it makes sense that the suit resembles Ant-Man's suit. Possibly this is an earlier version of the suit. The Stinger persona is a recent development. Basically, it might be a version of Hope Van Dyne's Wasp suit with the quad wings, but we don't see it in the poster or even in the trailer, so we have to wait for more information regarding this. In the comics, her predominant role was Stature as part of the superhero team, the Young Avengers. Her thing was growing really huge, as the name implies, just like his dad from Captain America Civil War and Avengers Endgame. In a different part of the trailer, while Kang was doing his voiceover about Scott not knowing what time is, there was this scene where he got a phone call from the San Francisco Police Department about Cassie being arrested. So then he has to bail her out. Classic trouble teen right there. Seems she inherited Scott's penchant for getting into trouble. He did a lot of time when he was becoming Ant-Man. In terms of characteristics, it seems she takes after him in a lot of ways.
I didn't steal anything. I was returning something I stole.
During the conversation after Scott bails her out, it seems she's been doing superhero stuff of her own. She did say "we" in the conversation, leading us to believe she might have been part of a small group. This is possibly an early version of the Young Avengers. A Young Avengers movie has been teased but has yet to be confirmed by Marvel. There are a few slots open in the official Phase 6 timeline, so we might expect some form of news by D23. Nonetheless, building blocks for this team are already in the works. Its members seem to be popping up throughout Phase 4. In addition to Vision, Miss Marvel, and Kate Bishop, we have Scarlet Witch's boys Wiccan and Speed, young Loki from the Loki series, Eli Bradley aka Patriot, seen in Falcon and Winter Soldier, America Chavez in Multiverse of Madness. No doubt we'll get the other members in upcoming titles like Hulkling in Secret Invasion, Prodigy in The Mutants, and we might even get two from the Ant-Man 3 movie with the name of Stature and Iron Lad. Okay, so regarding Iron Lad, we might not get to see him in the Ant-Man 3 movie, but I'm thinking he's an important part of the Young Avengers and to the whole Kang Dynasty storyline as a whole. In the comics, he is a time-displaced variant of Kang the Conqueror who sought him out in an attempt to manifest his destiny earlier in life. However, young Richards renounced his destiny and traveled back in time in the hopes of preventing his turning to Kang with the help of the Young Avengers. Moving on, also during the voiceover, there's a scene of the family eating together in Hank Pym's house. We see Scott Lang, Cassie, Hope, Hank Pym, and Janet Van Dyne all eating together, having a good time. They're making fun of Scott for being famous and for saving the world a couple times. Next, we see a scene in Hank Pym's lab. The team is probably doing an experiment together when a blue vortex opens up. The vortex sucks Cassie Lang first, and the rest of them get sucked in as well. We're assuming into the quantum realm. This vortex looks similar to the one Reed uses in the Illuminati scene in Multiverse of Madness. As they introduce Mr. Fantastic, he enters through a blue portal. In the comics, Kang has access to various technologies throughout the multiverse, and most of these depict blue light, like his face mask shown as having a blue glow, as well as his other time-traveling apparatus called Light of the Century Sphere. Most likely, these machines are using quantum energy and enable him to warp space-time. The Time Variance Authority does have similar looking tech, supposedly created by He Who Remains, and utilizing quantum energy to open portals to variant timelines. The quantum realm is invariably connected with Kang as his space-time manipulation technology stems from his access to quantum energy. Hank Pym, Bill Foster, and Elias Starr first built a quantum tunnel to harness this energy, and later Tony Stark and Rocket Raccoon built one to travel into the quantum realm throughout the events of Avengers Endgame. As they get sucked in, the voiceover from Kang says time is not a straight line, in reference to his unique perception of the timeline. To him, time seems to be happening simultaneously. Then Cassie asks, "Where are we?" Then we see this environment where quantum energy seems to be surging and arcing all around them. Then inside the realm, this time we get to see the Quantum City we got a glimpse at from the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. Janet Van Dyne spent years in the quantum realm learning all about the aspects of that place. And as we see these different structures inside the Quantum City, Kang's voiceover says, "Maybe you can see time the way I do. You can see everything." Inside the city, it looks like the party gets separated. Hope and Janet Van Dyne look for others throughout the city. Then we see Bill Murray's character looking human. Looks like he's been living in Quantum City for quite some time. He might be playing Krylar from the comics. Maybe he runs things in Quantum City. We don't know. Bill Murray's character is supposed to be one of the villains in the movie. Janet being stuck in the quantum realm, it makes sense that she knows Krylar. If he's human, we're not even sure how he got there. Might have utilized his own technology going there, or another way is through magic like Doctor Strange. The blue quantum energy arcing around buildings looks very much like the time stream from the Loki Series Finale. So we might be seeing actual timelines branch off as they're inside the quantum realm. Maybe we'll see firsthand how Kang actually manipulates time and space, seeing some machinery around him with the same quantum string energy emanating from it.
A Nexus event, which left unchecked, could branch off into madness, leading to another multiversal war.
Again, this might be the light of the Century Sphere or some version of it in the comics. We get more voiceover of him saying, "Your world, your reality, everything you're holding on to, everything you call life, I know how it all ends." We also get a glimpse of a version of MODOK, which is a little bit different from the comics. The usual depiction of him is this giant face with his limbs sticking out. This looks more of a mask with eye sockets. MODOK is played by actor Corey Stoll, aka Yellow Jacket, from the first Ant-Man movie. By the end, he gets sucked in, we're assuming, into the quantum realm, and that looks really painful. Maybe that's the reason he is deformed with his entire face out of proportion to the rest of his body. Then we see another character with gray headgear. We're not really sure who this is for now, but this is also within the quantum realm, so probably a character Janet is familiar with. She and the rest of the family will definitely interact with other beings too inside the city. Then we see Janet Von Dyne fighting what seems to be a quantum monster. Then Scott Lang meets up with Kang the Conqueror. Most likely this is them meeting for the first time. Kang comes up to him walking, then the camera pans up from his feet to reveal Kang without his mask. Of course, it looks like Jonathan Majors from Loki. Then Scott says, "I don't know who you are, but you've made a big mistake. I'm an Avenger." And Kang's like, "An Avenger? Have I killed you before?" In the comics, Kang at times gets confused with where he ends up in the present. Maybe he asked this because there are a multitude of similar situations with the same name Avengers across all the known time streams, which of course he has knowledge of, but what we are sure of is that he has killed Avengers before or will kill them in the future in a different timeline. An early theory of this, and a spoiler alert for those of you who don't want to know, by the end of the movie, Kang will have destroyed the Antman family, having learned of his plot to take over the multiverse with evidence seen in the quantum realm. Antman, the Wasp, and Hank Pym at this point in time are the only heroes capable of stopping him on his tracks, as they have access to the realm via the Pym particles. They might prevail, but he will eventually kill Scott in the process, or possibly Scott sacrifices himself in the end to save the rest of the family. Cassie will be looking for revenge, and being the successor of his father's legacy, will meet Iron Lad at some point, maybe in an end credit scene, and along with other young Avengers, maybe in their own movie down the road, attempts to stop Kang from conquering the entire multiverse. Then lastly, we see the title, and the way they're showing it is like quantum strings bending through time and space, then zooms out to reveal the Quantumania logo. Of course, everything ties into the big Phase 6 finale we'll get by 2025. They'll have a few years to flash it all out. That's it for my breakdown, guys. Hope you liked it. Please consider a like and follow if you like this content. I have other videos coming into the channel soon. Thank you for watching, and take care out there. See you on the next one.